Evelyn to Philip, June 10th, 1945. My dearest, Goldie and Diana left early this morning, and I can't tell you how much of a relief it is to me to see them leave. This in itself will be a vacation for me. Mom and I cleaned the house, and Ed and my dad put the living room rug in the dining room and vice versa, at my request. The living room rug is worn threadbare in one spot and looked bad, hence the change. I like the change. It's definitely much nicer this way. Ethel took the bungalow in Brown's Mills and will be leaving in 2 weeks, and I think Mom will join her then or a week later. We had the Browns, Tanta, Unc, Sid, Bea, Miriam, and little Anita, and Harry Weinman for dinner, and it was quite nice. Harry Weinman had to leave at 7 to catch his bus back to camp, so Sid took him down to the station, and Ruth, Miriam, Adele, and I went along for the ride. It poured all day till late afternoon. Harry went to New York with Goldie, and Mr. Silver met them there and drove Goldie and Diana on to Poughkeepsie, while Harry returned to Philly. I understand the points are being lowered. Think you might stand a chance now? I love you, baby, so much. Your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, 10 June 1945. Dearest darling, this is the first free time I've had since I got back to base to write to you. We had an administrative inspection yesterday, and it was necessary for me to work day and night in order to get my records ready for it. I won't apologize for not writing, since you have said that you're not interested in my apologies. I can only say then, darling, that I regret most sincerely that it was quite impossible for me to do so. From the moment I got back till yesterday afternoon, I was really rushed to death. I could have used another pair of hands and a lot more time. Happily, I managed to get a good bit of work done on the Forms 20, and the inspection went off very well. The first thing I did on my return, naturally, was to pick up my mail. However, I couldn't take time out to read it till late that night. There were about 15 of your letters, one from Dot, a big fat one from Jackie N., and 3 midget bulletins. What a haul! You can imagine how impatient I was to get at them while I worked. I was conscious of the bundle of mail in my back pocket every minute, making it almost impossible for me to concentrate on what I was doing. Your letters covered a period from 12 May to 30 May, with only a few dates missing. I want you to know, sweet, that I'm grateful for the consistency with which you are sending the mail along. I only feel badly that I am unable to do so as well. You realize, of course, baby, that it is next to impossible for me to answer all your letters individually. Not that I wouldn't love to, but we'll have to be content with some general remarks dealing with the things I want most to talk about. Your typewritten letter of 12 May enclosed those pictures of the pumpkin and Diana and the family. I'll try to tell you just how they impressed me. To begin with, I think Adele never looked prettier. I've tried hard to remember when or where I ever saw a sweeter-looking little girl, and recalled only one prettier and one who was just in the same class. The former was Shirley Temple, the latter, Barbara. Truly, sweet, she is adorable in every way, and a daughter we may both be inordinately and justifiably proud of. I couldn't resist the urge to show the pictures to my buddies, and to a man, they were of the opinion that a lovelier little girl would be very hard to find. Most of them were frankly envious and puzzled that she could be so pretty and still bear so striking a resemblance to me. How do you like that? They were kidding, of course. What I wouldn't give to Oh well, what's the use? You must know how I crave to hold that precious bundle, our Adele. Just as deeply as you, sweet, do I regret that I am being cheated out of knowing her in these years of her babyhood. But I guess we have to pay in some manner for such a blessing. I feel that no sacrifice I could make for the future security of my beloved girls could be too great. That thought saves me much in the way of heartache, believe me. Still, God knows it's plenty hard to take with equanimity. I'll never get done at this rate. To continue, I want to say that Diana Jean is a very well-formed kid and shows great promise of being a darkly beautiful girl someday. I think she bears a striking resemblance to Brother Jack as a baby, and yes, I do believe she resembles my father. May he rest in peace. The table and chair set is very nice and solidly constructed. I imagine it's a great help in keeping the Strongen girls from roaming about the house too much. Altogether, it is a wonderfully edifying picture and one of my favorites. The family picture is only a shade flat, but a very good picture nevertheless. Reading from left to right, you, my adored Evie, look not one whit different from the girl I remember, which means that to see you is to want to hold you and kiss you. Although your hair is, unfortunately, photographed against the dark brown background of Glow's dress, it is still easily distinguishable, and I don't remember that it ever looked better. Your adored face set in that well-remembered and heartwarming smile is just the face that I love so much. What more could I say? I'm not overly fond of that cape sleeve you asked me about, but it's not entirely unattractive either. In a word, I like very much indeed the way you looked in this picture. I have only one fault to find. Somehow I always feel cheated when your legs don't show in a picture. Remember that, will you, baby? The pumpkin seems to be engrossed in something off to a side, but she is very sweet looking in this one too. Mom, bless her, looks younger than ever in spite of the increasing but attractive gray in her hair. I believe I see your handiwork in that coiffure, Ev, and very nice it is too. Goldie appears to have lost some weight and looks very well. Diana Jean looks tinier and younger than in the other picture. Mickey, who was always a very pretty gal for my money, looks better than ever, and her hairdo is most becoming. She drew some very flattering comment from the boys, it may please her to know. Yes, I noticed right away that Harry had put on still more weight. Just between you and me, honey, I hope he doesn't lose any of it. I'll look that much slimmer by comparison. Ruthie is as pretty as you said a long time ago she would one day be. Gloria looks the same as ever, though I suspect the picture doesn't flatter her. Too, she seems to have put on some weight, right? Well, honey, it seems I've used up this evening just discussing the pictures. There are so many of your questions that will have to remain unanswered for the time being that I feel a little guilty that I can't continue. Then there is much that I would like to tell you about our second anniversary party that started yesterday afternoon and is still continuing. But that of necessity will have to wait another opportunity, possibly when I next see you, and it begins to look that it might be some months yet, as we don't seem to be particularly hot at present. We haven't been told a thing yet, but I'm almost sure we'll go home before we go on to the other theater, if we ever do, which, just between us, I don't believe we'll do. However, as I've said, they don't seem to be in any particular hurry to move us any place at the moment. I'll keep you posted, baby. Tomorrow I'll try to answer some of your letters. I'm sending along a program. Ask about it someday, and I'll tell you things you'll find it difficult to believe. No kidding. Good night for now, my sweet. The more I see of other girls, the more I admire and love you. I kiss you now, my dearest Evie. A kiss for Adele. Love to all. Your adoring Phil.